The officiating crew, Scott Thornley, Bob Sitov, and Rick Hartzell.
And Vern Lundquist, Syracuse goes. Man-to-man, and a quick jab by Mo Pete.
That may bring him out of that man-to-man.
Well, we're going to see a lot of zone. High pick and roll. They turn the corner, slip to the goal. Blackwell plays old, Vern. You'll enjoy his game.
Devon Brown back to Jason Hart. Here's Tony Bland. And Blackwell, one of 3 seniors starting for Syracuse. 3 also start for Michigan State. These are 2 very experienced squads. Shot clock at 7. Hart, stutter step in the lane, taken away by Mateen Cleaves. Round 1 goes to Cleaves.
He can guard as well. They'll try and duck in on each trip, try and present some low box superiority.
Now Cleaves brings it back outside. Still in the man-to-man.
Still straight up. Jimmy early in the year was exclusively man-to-man, but they favor the zone late. Nice pick here.
Oh, like a hot pick and roll. Basket is good. And Hudson goes to the line.
Well, they want Hudson to get more involved. Usually he's the guy that ducks in, Vern. This time, a nice little pick, turns the corner to slip. And how about the ability to take the hit? They are physical and tough around the 10.
Andre Hudson, fresh from a terrific game against Utah in which he was 7 of 9 from the field, and he actually got in Tom Izzo's face.
He was verbal, huh?
Yes.
Tom got a little Al McGuire in him. He likes kids to present their thoughts.
Great start for Michigan State, up by 6.
Straight man.
Jason Hart, Cleaves out on him.
And Thomas trying to establish low. He's improved his offensive game. They could certainly use some inside scoring.
Hard off the cut from Tony Bland's screen. Backs up, takes the 3. Air ball. He's not been hitting the 3, an offensive rebound, but the shot clock is only at 9, and Blackwell's going to go to the free throw line.
Didn't draw any iron. That's what Blackwell does extremely well. He penetrates and finds people. He's a good offensive player. And you can see just in the look at Jim Boeheim trying to calm his guys down. That quick, not quick jack, but deep jack by Hart. Not the type of offensive set that Jimmy would like.
Foul is called on A.J. Granger.
A little bit of green here, I would say.
Yeah.
Maybe 18,000.
Out of 19. Well, over the course of this year, this has been, surprise, a good Syracuse free throw shooting team.
Yeah, well, years ago, that's all gone on the boards, I think. It's not quite as bad as it was. And now, guess what? A 2-3 with man-to-man principles. Now, the middle is open. If they try and move Thomas up from an offensive viewpoint, he'll stay right under that rim. Anything low, he'll block and hopefully rebound.
Key here against the zone?
Well, the key, I think, is to find gaps. They're going high-low quite a bit. They're going to run some man-to-man stuff. Michigan State.
Off the mark, offensive board. This is a great rebounding team.
And that's the one area of concern for Jim Boeheim. Again, in the zone, you just don't check out properly.
There's a hole.
How about the look by Bell?
Yep.
A.J. Granger, not only a good student, but understands the game as well.
Jason Hart trying to settle his team down.
Violation on the inbounds, Vern, so they are rattled early. And it takes you right out of your game plan. I think they were going to go as long as they could with the man and then eventually set it up to throw Michigan State off. Good double screen there, man-to-man look.
Now here's Mo Peterson. Back into the hands of Mateen Cleaves.
They overload as well. They go short corner, which is the same side as the ball. Look at this high-low. They're getting pretty good touches.
Cleaves, short, board this time to Tom Thomas. Nice outlet pass, 2-on-1. Hart dishes, knocked out of bounds by Charlie Bell.
How about the coverage there by Bell? Their offense, Syracuse, generally starts with a good defensive stop. Thomas may have gotten a piece, at least a hurry at the other end, and then the run out.
8-1, Michigan State. Tony Bland will inbound, and he finds Ryan Blackwell. Back to Hart.
A little zone look on the inbounds. They're trying to get organized. Now this is where a senior backcourt guy becomes very important. Jason Hart, they try the lob, back screen by Thomas.
There's the lob underneath, whipped away. Mo Peterson knocks it away. Here comes Cleaves. Hart gets the steal. It's 1-1.
Well, you're keeping score on the guards. Jim Boeheim's looking up at the board knowing he needs more points from other people, and they back it right up.
So Jason Hart gets his first steal off Mateen Cleaves. And Jim Boeheim going to the bench. Preston Shumpert, who is their leading scorer in the tournament at 15 points per game, is getting ready to come on.
Well, he's got some nice pass right down the slot.
Now Cleaves back. Nice entry pass. Back outside. Hudson. And here's Charlie Bell.
Pretty good darn outside shooter. Plays the point on occasion for Mateen. Terrific offensive rebounder.
Those of you expecting Gonzaga and Purdue will get you down to Albuquerque for the 7:55 tip. At the other end,
Blackwell coming around. They got to get back here. Nice run out by Pena. He gets the timeout. They say he was on the end line. No.
15:57 to go first half. Jason Hart with a steal. It's 11-5, Michigan State. Spartans lead by 6, and we check in with Armin Kateya.
Thanks, Vernon. Some last-minute words from both coaches in the locker room right before the game. Jim Boeheim told his team, we have to rebound the basketball against the #1 rebounding team in the country, and we have to slow them down on transition. So far, not so good. Tom Izzo told his team, we have to stop their penetration inside. Most importantly, we got to control our transition game. And finally, he said, we have to be tough. He said, tough teams win championships. Back to you.
And they are going after their second NCAA title ever. Of course, the famed 1979 bunch won the championship over Indiana State.
Remember, St. Peterson's foot touched the line. They did not give them the timeout. Now the two-point guard look now with Griffith and Hart.
Alan Griffith, there's a little jump hook from Tom Thomas.
Pretty good move out of the timeout. Go deep. He's got a little short game with jump hooks from both boxes.
Now Griffin and Jason Hart. That is the 2 and the 2-3.
Notice the foul line, and they will react and take that away. Here's the high-low. Good ball reversal, and they got this jump shot to a great shooter. Pretty good basketball.
Board comes down for Blackwell. He gets it in the hands of Hart. 2-on-1. Beautiful pass to Griffin off the glass.
How about the timing of the pass? You're right. Nice run out, leak out. That's what the zone does. It faces out. They are ready to get it up and down on a miss.
Jason Hart and Mateen Cleaves first met each other here in this building for a Magic Johnson All-Star game. And Mateen Cleaves didn't get to play in that one.
He was hurt. Old friends on that. Nice.
Another turnover. This one in the hands of Griffin. Hart, dish, up and under, got it.
How about the numbers there? Nice run by Blackwell. The defense ignited. You got to be a little more patient now if you're Michigan State.
Orange men fall behind 8-1. They come back. We're tied at 11.
See, when you get it to the foul line, Bert, I think you've got to shoot it so that Thomas comes up and plays you. That gives you help, like right there. See that turn, shoot the ball. Now, that's not Hudson's game. If it's Granger, it's a little better for Tom Izzo.
Now, Tom Izzo telling us they wanted to go back and look at tape of a game they played against the zone. They had to go all the way back to the Texas game.
Is that amazing?
Yeah.
A little bit
early in the season.
A little bit of Penn State, he said, but not many trips at all. And that's tough on his club because you don't know what to expect. You're not as patient, and also you have a tendency to stand still against the zone.
Now Damone Brown back on the floor. So it's Brown and Hart, Tom Thomas, Shumpert, and Alan Griffin.
And Syracuse has its legs now. Took that initial hit. They get the carry. And the team a little tough on the defensive end.
Another Syracuse turnover with the score tied at 11. And A.J. Granger will inbound. First substitution for Tom Izzo.
He does smile once in a while, you know, Mr. Boeheim. Mr. B. Now, there's the guy you want to shoot it. Unfortunately, for Michigan State, doesn't knock it down. That's 2 open looks for Peterson in the corner and Granger at the foul line.
Under 14, Hart comes right, left rather, Damone Brown.
Now, Richardson's got a big responsibility. He's guarding Shumpert, who can drag the people away from the basket. And a Gagne with the powerful body. Jimmy looking to get the ball inside. But how about Aloysius has not lifted a weight yet? Now, that's what I looked like when I started school.
Yeah, sure you did. Yeah. And I'm Prince Philip.
And they're going to get him on a weight program. What will he look like?
Gagne, number 25, he does have a tendency to foul. There's the save by Damone Brown. From the corner, Shumpert for three. He's hitting 48% from three-point range this year.
He's got a great stroke. In high school, 6 o'clock in the morning, he started stroking jumpers with a coach. 4 minutes, 60 jumpers at 6:30. And that'll get you to be a pretty good shooter.
Jason Hart from Los Angeles. 4-year starter at Syracuse. All-time leader in steals. And consider the point guards that club has had.
And they feed off of one another. Now they get Aloysius once again. And Tom Izzo said that they took tape and they had he said he had hurt, 18 different nicks for his own team. And he brought Aloysius in and said, look what you're doing to our own guys. You've got to learn to play without fouling. He's got 2 quickies.
Shumpert gets it. Third Michigan State team foul. Only one for Syracuse so far. 13 minutes to go first half. Alley-oop. Damone Brown, no, just a little bit of this time.
And it's usually Hart that's the guy that makes the connection.
Cleaves. In and out for Jason Richardson. Foul call.
Aloysius got himself in the right position. Richardson can run the floor. Outstanding prospect, but it's all about the point guys. They're going to feed off. Their teammates are going to feed off them. Their ability to run the show. Mateen has just grown up so much in 4 years, Vern. Outstanding talent, the leadership qualities. When he was out with the injury, just look at the numbers during the tournament. The assists, controlling the turnovers, getting them into sets, and he's been very unselfish. Mateen, that is. Jason Hart on the other end, I mean, everything about his game. He can shoot the three, he can turn the corner and get into the lane. So you've got 2 powerhouses at the point matching up.
Anna Gagne gets the first of 2 at the free throw line from nearby Southfield, Michigan. And Mike Chappelle has come in. Tom Izzo thinks ups off the mark. And Shumpert, it's Damone Brown who comes down with it. And here's Jason Hart.
And both of them are great defenders. They're not going to have an easy night with one another, Cleaves and Hart. And they bang, very physical. You can see on cuts, Michigan State likes to give you a little chuck.
Hart kicks it back to Griffin. In the lane, and no basket foul call.
Chappelle there with the leg strip, but you can see that ability to turn the corner. Defense not getting over in the pinch position. Well, he's all about football, Tom Izzo. He believes you've got to be physical. It's in his blood.
Foul is called on Chappelle. Granger is out. And Gagne sits down. So Jason Richardson, Mo Peterson, Chappelle, number 20. They kick it back out to Hart, does Syracuse, into the corner for Shumpert's second attempt at 3. He's got a great stroke.
He sure does. A little nylon. He's got the long nylons on the pins, but his ability to drag the defender should help the big people. They're playing very small right now, Syracuse. Maybe Michigan State can hit the glass.
Syracuse in hostile territory overcomes an 8-1 deficit. They have their first lead. On the baseline, Mo Pete kicks it back outside to Cleaves. Now,
pretty good post up.
Yes, it was.
And no Thomas. It's a holiday. Eton on the sideline. Go to the 10.
And we're notched at 14, 11:30 to go first half. Another foul called on Michigan State.
I think Cleaves down with a little nickel dimer, and Jimmy Boeheim doesn't waste any time. He needs Thomas in there to dominate.
Now the holiday's over. Eton Thomas is coming back. Here's the Cleaves pass underneath. Hudson with the basket. Time has been called. 11:29 to go first half. Tied at 14 as Syracuse hits 6 of 9 from the field to open the game.
The ability to get back in, very important. Get your leg, get your confidence. And right now, Syracuse doing a pretty good job on the glass as well. And they go all the way back.
Shumpert gets it off the inbound pass from Hart. in the corner for Hart.
A nice slip to the goal, Blackwell.
Sophomore Preston Shumpert hitting 43% from three-point range, hits his second in succession. And Syracuse up 17-14. Leading scorers so far, as you saw. Here's Hart at the break. Griffin off the glass, good.
Well, Hart's done a wonderful job in the open floor. Michigan State pushing it right back. Syracuse back in the zone. Michigan State's getting into the right spots, but they're not finishing. Even there, quick pass, Peterson's got to go.
And it's off the foot, so that'll be a fresh 35. Near the conclusion of every NCAA tournament game, we'll select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game from each team. To date, Chevy has contributed over $8 million to scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities. Charlie Bell on, he gives Mateen Cleaves a rest. Hart stays on the floor for the Syracuse Orangemen.
And the advantage when Cleaves went out early in the year, Bell could play the point, so it's a great advantage late in the year. They can rotate him, and obviously they play together extremely well.
Look at the scoring run by Syracuse, and it began when they went to this 2-3 zone.
Well, that's sort of the staple for Jimmy Boeheim. They've gotten the ball to the right spot, but Thomas terrific at staying on the floor, Vern.
Peterson, an offensive board. This is a team that averages 14 boards, but they also have a proclivity to turn it over.
Well, thank you very much, Professor. You would have a proclivity as well if you got Eton Thomas looming behind you. You get a little shaky.
I have to settle for a cavity.
That's the problem with it. You get it to the right spot, you got to make a quick decision, and you must go right at his chin.
Interesting, Bill, the last 7 games, this Michigan State team has turned it over an average of only 10 per game. They've really cut down, but here, 5 already.
A lot of it's this zone defense, a problem, and Hart gets in the teeth of the defense and able to ball fake and knock it down.
Jason Hart gives Syracuse a 7-point lead, 9:30 to go.
And it all started when Alan Griffin came in the game and they played the 2-point guards. They became more aggressive. They trapped below the foul line.
Into the corner. Mike Chappelle with a drive and a foul called on Tom Thomas.
Now that's what Tom Izzo said to both of us yesterday. We've got to go at a shot blocker. And that's the first time they took it right at him. He's got to stay on the floor to Syracuse to have a shot. Legitimate blocker, negator in the hole.
Get complete NCAA tournament coverage for each region with game stats, summaries, and more. The fastest coverage online. It's March Mayhem. And a free throw made at cps.sportsline.com or on America Online. Enter keyword CBS Sportsline.
Now you're always looking for people to step up, and Mike Chappelle's a guy. They struggled all year. The last part of the season, he started to make shots. Although the Utah game didn't have much of a contribution, didn't get many minutes, but that's a guy against this zone that maybe they can slip him in the gap and he can knock some shots down.
Well, he's got that outside shot, and Tom Izzo thinks he might be a real factor tonight. 9:05 to go, and a 6-point Syracuse lead. There's the penetration, the block from Morris Peterson.
How about that?
There's Chappelle. Blackwell comes out on him, and they'll settle for the half court. Charlie Bell, Hart harasses him.
There's really no place to go around those two guys.
A.J. Granger, nice strong move.
How about him? Most improved on the team, going strong to the 10. He got a bunch of awards at their banquet, huh?
Well, Charlie Bell and A.J. Granger shared the award for most improved player.
What was Charlie's comment? He said that, I don't think I deserved this. I thought I was pretty good to start with.
Blackwell.
They got a foul back there? Yep, Ryan. Blackwell with the hold. Well, once you make your little move to the goal, you've got to have somebody or find somebody. You can't go up. That's a fast break initiator. And Granger with a good, strong, tough turnaround. And right in the face. That's what you have to do.
Ryan Blackwell's first foul. Shooting percentage, Syracuse 64% in the early going.
Trying to get Mo Pete a little nice little post slip.
Yes, it was. Hudson, nope. Put back, nope. Offensive board. There's Hudson again. Got it.
That's Michigan State at their best. They left 4 people on the glass. They challenge, and we got an injury. Preston Shumpert may have run on the baseline. He's down. Tim Neal there checking on him. It seems to be okay, but Vern, you better put a body, even though it's a zone on Michigan State. They just attack the tin with authority.
Damone Brown comes back on for Preston Shumpert. And he ignited this Syracuse comeback with those back-to-back threes. Getting some medical attention on the bench now.
He probably got in there with the big guys. You know, that thin body, he likes to shoot that jumper. Mixing it up with Michigan State's a little tough.
21-19. Blackwell comes out to set the screen. Hart almost lost it. Mateen Cleaves is back on the floor, and you can tell.
He is a great harasser of the pass and inside now to get Peterson and Blackwell. That's a tough matchup for Mo Peterson, simply because Blackwell moves you in, moves you out, can beat you with the bounce. Crowd not in favor of the call at all.
That's his first foul, but more significantly, it is the 6th team foul, Michigan State. Time called. (21-19), 7:41 to go, first half of play. Preston Shumpert getting medical attention on the Syracuse bench with a cut right eye.
Unfortunately, down there with the big people, and you have to count your chicklets when you go down. A lot of flailing of arms. As we said, a perimeter shooter. The big difference, I think, Alan Griffin coming in, moving Hart off the ball.
.30 to go, first half. Shumpert getting the medical attention, a cut right eye. He is on the bench. And for Syracuse, it's Blackwell, Brown, Etan Thomas, Alan Griffin, who's been a real key for them in the first half, and Jason Hart.
Well, Alan Griffin's allowed Hart to play off the ball, breaking down a D here. A little kiss, knockdown. But he has been solid, and that's the reason Syracuse is better. They got a deeper bench, Fern.
And this is what you did not expect from him, though, Bill. He's got 6 points on 3 of 3.
Well, they're concentrating so much on keeping Hart out of the flow, and Jason playing off the ball has been sound.
Alan Griffin, a junior from Brooklyn, New York. Charlie Bell, Mateen Cleaves, A.J. Granger, Hudson, and Richardson on the floor.
And they got steps and a good call, too. That trap, once you get below the foul line, you just can't be prepared. But Vern rebounding, a big concern of Syracuse. But watch Shumpert right in here. And this is just, you got to be awfully tough. Count the chicklets with that flailing arm, huh? Oh, my goodness. He took it for the club. Cut above the eye. I'm sure he'll be back.
Back it goes to Blackwell. Nice adjustment in the lane. Rebound. Damone Brown with the putback. Got it.
Well, they say he's Louis Orr-like, the assistant coach. He's slight, but if he plays bigger, they're a much tougher out underneath.
Louis Orr standing and giving encouragement on the sideline. Matter of fact, these two teams, this is the 13th time they've played. Here's Granger. But only the second time since 1946 Granger can't hit. And Damone Brown on the floor. Loose ball. Etan Thomas. Still a loose ball.
Look at this. An assist from the floor.
Good kick outside. Hart for 3. Yes.
And that's a scrappy play. And who's in the middle of it? Etan Thomas. How about the kick to the wing? I don't know if somebody's heard. A.J. Granger may not be himself. They're holding up play just to check. And usually loose balls go Michigan State way. A very alert Syracuse team. Early on, listless, inserting of Griffith. They picked up the tempo defensively, became more aggressive, and right now taking it to Michigan State.
A.J. Granger is going to head to the bench. And Anaganye is on for the Spartans of Michigan State. Well, how about this?
Well, part of the problem is Granger was getting those good looks. The location's great for Michigan State. They're not converting shots.
There's the entry pass. Anaganye, skip pass in the corner. Peterson launches one. And the offensive board, Anaganye, and it goes to Jason Hart. Hart. Alley-oop. Nope, the touch is not there. Knocked out of bounds, Syracuse ball.
It didn't look like anything, and Hart had to feel the read. They run the floor and react to him beautifully. You know, the other end, part of the problem is Peterson's getting long looks. He might be a nice guy to slip to the foul line. Let him turn and shoot it for Tom Izzo.
5:20 to go, first half. Syracuse fell behind 8-1. Griffin came on. They went to their 2-3 zone. They've gotten 6 turnovers. And they've held their own on the board so far.
And this zone has been open in the middle, a good cut, and they get the foul. I don't know if Gagne or Mo P, as that's 3 on Big Al.
It's Gagne, and it's his 3rd. Sunday, April 9th on CBS. Richard Dreyfuss, Brian Dennehy, Harvey Keitel, Noah Wiley, and George Clooney star in an unprecedented live television event, Fail Safe, Sunday, April 9th on CBS.
And Vern, Syracuse has been very alert on the switching defenses, too. That cut by Griffin wide open in the middle. You're reading things extraordinarily well.
Gets the first. He's got 7 points. Unexpected 7 points.
And the big concern for Michigan State coming in was the zone. And if you can't simulate the length of the people on the perimeter for Syracuse and their reaction, the quick footwork, they understand how to cover for one another, and the big negator in the back, Etan Thomas. And Tom Izzo wants to get it organized.
Time called by Tom Izzo. Jim Boeheim quickly out and says, settle down, guys, don't celebrate yet. Syracuse hitting a torrid 63% thus far in the first half, and Michigan State hitting only 39%. Tom Izzo telling us last night his real concern was how well they would shoot the ball.
And they're getting good location against Jim Boeheim's zone. I mean, they're just not making the shot. Good ball movement, they're screening, finding open guys. And Jimmy, the type of guy that might give you a term paper over a short weekend. But the 2-3 zone, his staple. I mean, they teach man-to-man great, but their favorite is the 2-3.
And they stay in that right now. Under 5 to go. Shockingly, I think Syracuse has outscored Michigan State 29-11 since falling behind.
And a walk because
another turnover.
Because of Thomas, Vern.
Right.
I mean, he may lead the country in hurries. It's just such a force there. He gets you to pitter-patter the feet. And again, great spot. Tom Izzo's getting the ball where he wants, unable to finish.
7 Michigan State turnovers in the first 15 minutes of the game. Here's Griffin. Offensive foul.
Now that may be a little spark for Michigan State. Usually starts on the defensive end. And
had a collision, though.
Yeah, somebody's a little uncomfortable getting up. Richardson offering it up. And early in the year, he had some problems in his chest area, nerve problem. But you can see here, getting over the back support by Peterson. Now that's typical Michigan State defense, and they got to get after it a little bit more. Don't settle quickly, I would think, is one of their dilemmas now on the offensive end. Pry a little bit more, make Syracuse work in the zone defense.
Mateen Cleaves brings it across the timeline. 3:24 since they last put a point on the board.
Mateen also is going to have to step into cracks and make some shots. They're forcing everything inside to Thomas, and nobody making that shot right there. Now that's the jumper that you like, Peterson.
Off the dribble, Cleaves, nice adjustment. There's Etan Thomas. Etan Thomas, his first block of the game, he's averaging for his career almost 4 per game.
He sends more out of town than Parcel Post. He's just such an impressive defender. It's the left hand, and as we both know, up at Syracuse, we asked him, who taught you to block with the left? Because I'd say 95% of the players are, he said, myself. He just picked it up. I mean, that's almost Bill Russell is, but Bill Russell was a lefty.
You thought you were a sleuth and you were really going to have a story.
Yeah, I thought I had a little expose. Booker T. Washington, and they get the offensive foul, I think. If they give it on Thomas, he just threw that elbow up. He got a little bit frustrated. Number 2, Vern.
And Jason Hart over to chat with him calmly. Etan Thomas assures him he's got it under control. 2 of the 3 seniors, Blackwell the other. And, of course, for Michigan State, it's Cleaves, Peterson, and A.J. Granger. Now Richardson's going to leave, and Mike Chappelle, who spent the first 2 years of his collegiate career playing for Mike Krzyzewski at Duke, transferred back near home and has found his touch from long range. Hasn't had many opportunities from outside so far.
No, they expected him to knock him down. He's a guy, and on the perimeter, they just haven't been able to get things to bring the zone up enough. But Richardson out there, and he's hurting. He went to that bench and not feeling very well.
Cleaves off the mark. And Preston Shumpert, who has had that right eye bandaged, is back on the floor.
Now, I would be tempted to get Thomas out of there. You're playing well. You don't want to get him number 3. He just pushed Granger, and Michigan State's good at initiating contact and then getting the guy frustrated.
Thomas tries to get possession. Blackwell kicks it out to Shumpert. Little runner in the lane, and here comes Dave Thomas, number 11.
Another guy that played a little bit of point. Look at the double up, a little inexperience against this tenacious Griffin. Hart combo.
Ooh. Jason Hart. Tony Bland, who took a seat on the bench and gave way to Griffin, leads the cheers for the Orangemen.
Wow. I mean, they've trapped below the foul line, half court. We've seen them over the course of the year go full court. A very alert Cuse club right now.
Of all the things Syracuse was not going to count on, double digits from Griffin in the first half of play.
And Jason Hart with the reach in. This is just beautiful coordination by the guards. It all started to happen. It brought a smile to the professor on the sideline. Jimmy B's guys just very active, creative defensively, and sound judgments on the other end because of the two-point guard mentality. Jimmy's one of those great success stories that has never gotten the respect or adulation he deserves. Part of it's that sort of little professor kind of idea. You know, he just likes to coach. He's not looking for people to slap him on the back. Pay attention to him. He deflects everything back to his players.
And he has spent most of his life in Syracuse, New York. Played there in the backcourt with Dave Bing in the early 60s.
The only time he has gloves off is when he's coaching.
He's still not smiling. Maybe inside. Michigan State has hit a drought.
And it's been a struggle getting the looks. And when they've had the good ones, they haven't knocked them down. But Syracuse mixing up the laid back 2-3 to traps and top of the foul line and below the foul line.
Blackwell and Hart will inbound it. Last Michigan State field goal came at the 8-minute mark of this first half. They find themselves down in this battle of point guards. The edge has gone to a dominant Jason Hart so far over Mateen Cleaves.
Well, and throw 1A Griffin too. Al's been terrific, yes. So it's been a double team. But Mateen can't function offensively with his own. They've got him pushed so far out. They've got to step it up on this end. Concern for Syracuse, Thomas getting number 3 before the half.
Shot clock at 10. Offensive foul on Griffin. We check in with Armin Katayan.
Thanks a lot, Vern. Just a couple quick updates. A.J. Granger, who just came back in the game after falling awkwardly earlier, had been stretching out his foot from cramps. Richardson's okay, but it's one of the reasons that Syracuse is up 14-9 in rebounds. Back to you.
All right, Armin. Granger back on the floor, and Cleaves, Chappelle, Charlie Bell, and Andre Hudson. There's the pass to Hudson.
And a pretty good catch, too. Always looming in the rear is Thomas. See, you don't have a shot. Now they drag him away. They should slip a big guy in quickly. Look at Thomas get back to home base.
Back to Cleaves, who's 0 for 4 from the field. Here's Bell from outside. And a rebound into Etan Thomas's arms. That's 4 rebounds for Etan Thomas.
And once again, that's a pretty good look. No air under the pill.
Little crossover by Jason Hart. Ryan Blackwell rejected by Granger on the attempted pass.
You got Thomas in there, you might as well use him.
Now Jason Hart will reload, 90 seconds to go.
They slide behind his pick and roll generally, and he's been able to make threes out there if you don't come play him. Nice hesitation, bounce Hart.
Into the corner for Griffin. What a story, in and out this time.
I don't think it is to Hart down underneath.
Got Ryan Blackwell.
Blackwell.
That's his 3rd foul. Wow. So Damone Brown's going to make a re-entry into the game. Ryan Blackwell, who began his collegiate career at Illinois, transferred, sat out, now in his 3rd season, and winding up his career at Syracuse. Andre Hudson at the line. And another rebound. That's 5 for Etan Thomas.
Now Michigan State's going to have to get it off the defense. They just did in the water at the other end. Got to strip, cause some problems, rebound, get a run out. Hart. Ooh, a neck ball. You're in trouble if your team leads the country in neck balls. Well, that's not what you'd call touch, although Jason does possess it. It happens once in a while, and that's a possession arrow situation.
And Syracuse gets the possession arrow. Jason Hart. Morris Peterson is back in now for Mike Chappelle, and a little explanation going on at the bench.
Well, you know, this is over the neck ball. Maybe they're not sure on the possession hour or what they're going to do with the shot clock. But, you know, Tom Izzo's over there. You don't recognize your team. They're not making shots. It's an uncomfortable feeling. And you know, just trying to stay within 10 is a comfort zone to go in at halftime. I think if they can just hang tough. I mean, they've been in some terrific situations during the course of the year, and they won't back the tag.
Alan Griffin.
And Granger doing a nice job on Thomas with the footwork.
48 seconds to go. Here's Brown. Hudson comes out on him. They kick it back outside, put it in the hands of Hart. 40 seconds to go in the first half. Momentarily we've left there. We got the clock back.
Little pick and stay for Shumpert. You better get up on him.
Little pump. And the shot. No. Rebound. Charlie Bell gets it in the hands of Cleves. Good transition back for Syracuse. And there's a Tom Thomas.
Should have scored the goal.
Hart. Brown with the dish. 2 boards.
Wow, that's a shame. It should have been down the other end. I thought Mateen should have kept the basketball out and got the last shot just to stay in that comfort zone. Sensational shot block, but I think one they got away with.
13-point lead. Offensive putback is good, and a free throw forthcoming.
The best thing they can do now is get to the glass. Tom Izzo livid at that last non-call that led to the run out. Oh, using aggressive basketball around the rim, and that's sort of their position game in and game out. Attack the tin with 4, and Tom Izzo got to step back just a little bit. He's got the crowd going as well.
Time called by Syracuse. 3rd foul on Damone Brown. He joins Blackwell on that list. Which one? Okay. Pennzoil at the half with Greg and Clark coming up in 1.2 seconds on the clock. They'll update you on all the tournament news and have a live look in at Gonzaga against Purdue.
Well, Special K could get up this big. Now, that's one that he's tough, but if you give Thomas those, you're going to lead to runouts, and this is just terrific play by Hart. Takes the defense right out under the rim, and then the strong completion. But that one should have been a deuce for Michigan State.
Don Thomas in the top 10 list all time. Career block shots. He's number 7. He's got 424 right now.
Now, this is a catch and shoot.
Hart at the buzzer. It's going to be short. But what a magnificent first half played by the Syracuse Orangemen. Tom Izzo really upset. Jim Boeheim not so. At the half, a 10-point game, 34-24. Let's check in with Armin Katea. Points and assists. Mateen Cleaves scoreless thus far, 0 for 6 from the field. And Morris Peterson has only gotten 5 points. Quickly, they get it in the hands of Charlie Bell. Back to Granger, who also...
Pretty.
Nice pass underneath.
How about that? You think there was a little woofing going on in the locker room with Tom Izzo? Feisty, competitive. They get it to the top, the high-low. Just gorgeous basketball.
Cleaves almost gets the steal off Hart. There's Blackwell with the screen. Damone Brown on the floor. Blackwell and Brown both playing with 3 fouls. Etan Thomas muscles it in the lane.
How about the catch and the courage of the pass by Ryan Blackwell? Oh, what a finish.
Now Cleaves taken away by Jason Hart. Tony Bland played only 4 minutes. Alley-oop. Got it.
That's playing old. Ryan Blackwell trudges around. All of a sudden explodes, makes the right decision. Gorgeous look.
Jason Hart, career leader in steals. And he has had his way. 3 steals in the game tonight.
And an open floor right here. And they're not getting back with everybody at the glass for Hart. Ooh, this one, you've got to get control right away. See what Tom calls.
14-point Syracuse lead.
And they're going to their man-to-man offense. They're 1-4 across against the zone. They need some movement, he feels.
Charlie Bell, here's Granger again.
Granger getting the touches in there, but he's not as comfortable as he is on the wing drifting for the jump shot. Look at this dump down. Hudson.
Hudson, the foul is called on Jason Hart. Michigan State with that 8-1 start, and then they fell behind as Syracuse went to the zone defense, 2-3. They got great play out of Alan Griffin in the latter stages, early stages and latter of the first half, and they led by 10 at the half. They're up by 14 here. Granger, yes.
And that's what he likes. Unfortunately, they got to slip somebody in the foul line to make some shots in that particular area. Maybe it'll be Mo Peterson, but Hart has been just terrific. Griffith got his legs for him. Playing off the ball, he got into a comfort zone. Now he's back in the leadership role.
Damone Brown looks for Thomas. He's being fronted. Damone Brown takes the jumper and cans it.
It's been resting for Syracuse in the 2-3 zone, causing havoc for Michigan State, not turning it over, trapping on occasion on the baseline or out at the half court. A nice pick out here by Hudson.
And Cleaves gets his first basket of the game.
They need him. I mean, he's too important to this team emotionally as well as in the number category.
Mateen Cleaves now 1 for 8. There's the high pick and roll again. Now Hart measured by Mateen Cleaves. Takes the jumper. Air ball, Charlie Bell. Here comes Mateen Cleaves. Spartans will run. Hart goes for the steal, picks up a foul.
And they're going to get Hart with the drag. That's number 3, I believe, Vern.
2.
Okay. Pretty good reaction here. He had, look at that decision, other than the foot. And that's what got the foul for him. Just a magnificent anticipation. Little pick and roll out there high. The ability to knock shots down, something that's been lacking thus far. Cleaves maybe ready to produce.
Back to the identical margin at which we went to halftime, and here is a whistle away from the foul. Away from the ball. Wet spot.
And that's maybe where Jason Hart fell earlier.
Now Michigan State and Syracuse, the 1 seed against the 4 later tonight. Much anticipated game. UCLA against the Cyclones of Iowa State. Michigan State and Syracuse playing for only the 13th time ever. We mentioned this in the first half, but they played only once since 1946.
This is the advantage of playing at the Palace for Michigan State. You're not playing well. The crowd gets in it, supports you a little. You get from that listless stage to invigoration.
In this half, Syracuse continues its hot shooting.
And look at who's cleaning up. He's doing everything else, Jason Hart. Get the keys off his belt.
Cleaves. Peterson with a jumper.
And that's man-to-man stuff. Screening. Earlier they got Cleaves the high pick. That time just a wing pick.
7-point margin.
Good pass. Oh, send it
Don Thomas was fronted and the pass was perfect.
Well, that's that screen across, and Thomas made a nice move to duck back under the rim. And Hart, the acknowledgement.
9 assists for Jason Hart.
They come this way. They got a nice quick overload with the dribble. Now, Peterson should have stayed wide.
Tony Bland out. Here's Cleaves with the jumper for 3. Got it.
He shot hundreds. I think it was 600 a day to get ready for the season. Then, unfortunately, the stress fracture, his confidence, and what he does leads this team.
Now Syracuse must battle the team and the crowd. Bland. That's a bonus.
Nothing.
Tony Bland has not been effective offensively the last couple of months. Charlie Bell from Granger. Deep. And off the mark.
Yeah, just a little too far.
We played 4 minutes and 19 seconds of this half. Michigan State has shaved 1 off the lead.
Well, Vern Lundquist, what they do at Syracuse, it is just a simple screen across, a very subtle offensive maneuver. And Thomas usually goes to the block, but here he reads the defense, a little shove to discard, and the courage of Hart to get it to the big fella. And he has been solid with rebounding and now providing a lift.
Look at this defense by Michigan State. In the first 2 rounds, they yielded only 38% per game, and tonight Syracuse hitting 61% from the field.
Well, that'll light a cigar for you.
Yes, it will. And we'll check the lineups for you now with 15:38 to go. It's Hart, Blackwell, Anton Thomas, the three seniors for Syracuse, Damone Brown, and Alan Griffin, who had a sensational first half, is on the floor. Now Thomas puts it on the floor, gets it back to Hart.
He uses the high pick and then the slide to the box. Blackwell gives him that point forward mentality. Terrific passer, can penetrate, can make shots.
Blackwell with a jumper. Got it, and a foul. Wow.
Well, a little early, onions, but he was stuck. He couldn't get the feed to the post. He's a very unselfish player, but his ability to read a situation, the defense, the shade by Peterson. I mean, this is a guy a couple inches bigger, Peterson. He's still able to elevate over, knock it down, and get to the line.
The foul on Peterson, his second. Blackwell shoots a free throw. And the rebound comes down to Mike Chappelle. So we'll check the five on the floor for the Spartans, the seniors. Mateen Cleaves, Mo Peterson, A.J. Granger. From the corner. Not there. Blackwell with a rebound.
Well, they ran what they wanted. They got the look they want. The 2-3 zone, we're going to take a look at it, Vern. It's not your Tavern League zone. I mean, they're active, they're long, they cover holes real well. They got the great negator in the back, and Anton Thomas. You got to make shots.
Thomas calls for it. He's battling Hudson, low post. 10 on the shot clock. Blackwell gets it out. Griffin. Good defense by Michigan State. There's Griffin off the glass. And a foul is going to be called on Anton Thomas.
Now you got the right one, Vern. Hudson. Now the problem with this 2-3 zone, you're going to see from a high view, Granger's the one that ends up with a shot here. But look at this area here. Maybe it's not the shot. Maybe it's a cut here, or maybe it's a fill from in here. But the quick jack, the good check out, baseline, and Syracuse in position. And one of the things you can do if you get good shots and they're soft enough, you get in position to tip them.
And one of the points that Tom Izzo was making with us last night, he did not think Syracuse had great depth interior. And that is the third foul on Anton Thomas. So 3 starters now for Syracuse in foul difficulty.
Now saying that, you got to go inside if you're Michigan State. Take it while he's on the floor. Go at him somehow.
Gagne is back in Gagne, and there's a three-pointer.
Well, that's what I said. Go inside.
I heard you.
Except if you're Mo P, who can stroke it.
I was listening carefully. 8-point deficit.
And there's that little screen away and the duck in by the big guy, Thomas.
Anna Gagne plays with 3 fouls, make it 4.
They don't have enough fouls for Big Al. Physical player.
Tuesday on CBS, it's an all-new Jag. Harm thinks he's got a big case all sewed up until Mac calls a surprise witness, his girlfriend, on an all-new Jag Tuesday on CBS. Anna Gagne remains on the floor with 4 fouls.
In this zone now, the middle has been open for cuts. And on the inbounds, Michigan State likes to set up their matchup.
Griffin. Damone Brown, there's the pass to Blackwell with a jumper in the lane, off the front iron. A.J. Granger with a rebound. Cleaves, Spartans want to run.
And look at the defense back to zone, sort of collectively pinches.
So they bring it back outside. A.J. Granger. An 8-point margin. Granger off the iron, long rebound, Griffin.
And that's a good offensive set. You got 2 Syracuse guys to play 1.
Blackwell loses it, but a foul is called.
Oh, Mo P got to calm down, a little excited. And I think he did get fouled on the strip. Blackwell, a lot of guys would have shot that jump shot, but he has the presence to get into the middle. If anything is productive, he'll take it. If not, he'll kick it.
Foul is not called on Peterson. It's called on Mike Chappelle. Anna Gagne heads to the bench, having picked up his 4th. And 3 team fouls each now. Here's the inbound pass to Preston Shumpert, who plays with a previously dislocated finger on his shooting hand and a cut right eye sustained in the first half.
He's looking to hide his terrific shooter. They better acknowledge in this zone. Richardson trying to come up to the wing. Now they got the jumper in the corner if they want it.
Shumpert spots up in the corner, and Damone Brown doesn't find him. Chappelle goes up and grabs the rebound.
That's one of the few not healthy trips for Syracuse.
Cleaves from the corner.
He gets it to one of the stones. And that's what Cleaves does best. gets it to the mainstay. The Flintstone group. Charlie Bell, Mateen Cleaves, and Morris Peterson.
Hart with a counter. Off the mark. Jason Richardson gets it. Number 23. Down by 5. Here come the Spartans. Cleaves, nice in.
Pretty. Oh, is that taking advantage? Take it to the 10. Mateen.
Mrs. Tom Izzo, Lupe, and their 5-year-old daughter Raquel enjoying the comeback. Married in 1991 when Tom was an assistant coach here. 8-0 Michigan State run. They're within 3. Jason Hart. Last time out, of course, called by Syracuse. Shumpert looks for a Tom Thomas, finds him.
Jump hook. Couldn't protect it. He gets it back. Look at this strength.
Jump ball, possession arrow.
That's
Syracuse.
It's funny, that was part of the problem. The possession arrow's light is there. They finally got it working.
With his team gathered around it.
Looks like they got a little more energy, and I think Syracuse is going to have to match it. The ability to make shots, 8 for 12 this half, 67%. So right now, if you want something done correctly, Jimmy Boeheim usually turns to Jason Hart to get it to the right spot.
And Hart will inbound. Hart, Griffin, Shumpert, Blackwell, and Thomas for Syracuse. Chappelle and Cleaves, Hudson, Richardson, and Morris Peterson. With 18:50 to go in this half, Michigan State was down by 14, 40-26. Here's Griffin.
The same spark as the first half. Michigan State making a nice run, starting to make deep shots, running some screens, some man-to-man action. Look at this steal. Once again, Griffin on top of his game. Pushes Hart off the basketball. He can play a little bit of point. Nice penetration last trip, and then almost a strip.
5-point margin, 51-46. Charlie Bell will come back on the floor for Michigan State now. The number 1 seed against the 4 seed.
Thomas able to play inside. They're not getting the touches, not getting any foul problems. He's got the 3, Vern. Here they go to him. Go strong.
Taken away by Shumpert.
And that's where Hudson's got to take over. That's what Tom Izzo was saying. He's got to be more selfish in there. Take it at the big fella.
And double-digit turnovers now for Michigan State. That's the 10th. This comeback fueled by 8 of 12 shooting by Michigan State, but Syracuse continues its torrid pace, 8 of 13.
Nice bump here.
Hart with the jumper off the screen, off the iron. Tipped and into the hands of Mateen Cleaves from Richardson. Five-point game as we near the midway point of the second half.
And it's just a man-to-man play. 2 guys picking for Mateen and then for Peterson.
Nice cut by Peterson. Foul called. Who got it? 3 men with 3 fouls. This one picked up by Jason Hart. That's his 3rd. So 4 players for Syracuse with 3 fouls. And let's check the data bank. 39 NCAA tournament wins. Still looking for their first title. They've been in the championship game twice.
Indiana and Smart.
Keats won somebody. That was in '87.
The Meadowlands a few years ago. John Wallace contributing mightily. And Mo P a little more active, getting open looks. A nice little disguise there with the staggered screen by Tom Izzo. First Cleaves with a chance, and then Peterson with the bumps.
Back to a 3-point margin. Peterson has 11 points in this half, 16 in all.
Side pick and roll, and then a dive to the box.
Griffin with a dribble penetration, in and out, but he'll shoot free throws.
Bell up tough. He's a confident player. And the difference in Syracuse, I think, this year, they're deeper. They're confident when they come in. They know their position. Griffith can play off or at the point, and that makes Hart a much tougher out when he gets an angle.
12 points tonight, and a season average of just over 2.5. One more.
Well, Thomas put this program on fire, hasn't he, in recent years? Just sensational. The recruiting beat keeps going on. They got the Player of the Year coming here next year. Marcus Taylor will take Cleaves' place.
Cleaves and Peterson and Granger, the three seniors from Michigan State. Here's A.J. Granger. Kicks it back outside in the corner. Charlie Bell.
I see that makes Thomas play you, though. Good.
What a nice move.
Oh, and hello. How about Hudson's screen on Thomas and Mo P to the 10? Syracuse getting picked apart a little bit with their zone right now.
Ryan Blackwell and A.J. Granger. Thomas again battling Hudson in the post. There's the pass. He goes baseline. In and out, but he'll shoot free throws.
That's the confidence of him. Much better player in the low box area, but the ability to reverse the ball. Now look at the choices here, and we're going to have one over in this corner. Just great understanding. And Hudson now goes for Thomas, locks him up right here, and makes it so available. Just sensational teamwork there.
And Aton Thomas shoots two. One more. One of two this trip. Cleaves gets the board.
Now the zone has to make adjustments as well. Now they've been having their problems with the stretchy look. A lot of the man, there's the roll the post. And they got Peterson on an overload.
And Granger comes way outside. Takes the three.
Much more energy, Vern. Don't you feel it?
You bet.
They are just confidently picking it apart.
A.J. Granger, who developed that outside shot the last couple of years, cans one from three. It's a one-point game. Shumpert. And there's Charlie Bell, offensive foul. Charlie Bell takes the charge.
Well, part of their success is toughness. Physical presence, mental toughness. Tom Izzo demands a response on the defensive end. Just a great read. Bell coming from off the ball, helping his teammate out.
Charlie Bell, who will be the only Flint Stone next year.
He'll be a Lone Stone, as he refers to himself.
Spartans have a chance for the lead. Peterson. Bell, offensive board. Out of bounds.
I believe it's going to the Cuse.
It is.
What a nice screen by Cleaves to give Peterson the look, and Charlie Bell, bad knee and all. So important to this team. He picks up the charge, gives him a second opportunity at the offensive end.
Charlie Bell playing with tendonitis in his left knee. Actually had acupuncture treatments this past week. Did not practice earlier in the week.
And they thought that maybe the 3 days of the Big Ten tournament made it tougher on him.
8 minutes to go. Regional semifinal. Beautiful scoop shot, Ryan Blackwell.
That's going to school. That was just gorgeous. Controlling the lob. Thomas doesn't see it.
Hudson will go to the line. Aton Thomas picks up his fourth foul.
And there's where your leadership comes in. It's courage under fire. We saw Hart dominating early. Mateen, Cleaves checking his Valentine right now. But the run out and then the eventual look, just solid basketball. And Thomas gets caught up. He should have just let this one go. Let him score and go to the other end. The reaction defensively just a little bit tardy, but Cleaves a tough pass to make and even tougher to gather.
Andre Hudson will shoot one more. Jim Boeheim will go to his bench. Damone Brown who has 3 fouls, replaces Etan Thomas.
You know, Hudson's somewhat undersized, Roman. You look at him. He's played Chenoweth from Kansas, Chris Mim from Texas, Brendan Haywood, and had solid outings against them. Lauren Woods is maybe the only one that had a tougher game against him.
Hart with the rebound. An 0 for trip to the line for Andre Hudson. And a 3-point game, 7:44 to go.
Smaller but quicker right now, the Cuse. A lot of dribble drive.
There's the cut. Blackwell blocked. A.J. Hudson, Granger rather. And Blackwell gets it back. Shumpert, tough shot.
Plenty of time too, 12 seconds to go. A little bit of a panic trip that time by the Cuse. Big thing, go right at the center spot, I think. Oh, go right down the lane, Andre.
Leaves, Granger.
No Thomas. Smart team. Well coached. The zone. They know how to put you in misery.
Time called Syracuse.
The ability to get in the lane and do some damage. The smaller front line, the ability to make plays. Cleaves.
The Spartans last led at 12-11. Just to recap for a moment, Mateen Cleaves missed his first 8 shots in this game. His team jumped out to an 8-1 lead, but Syracuse went on an 18-3 roll and had a lead of 10 at the half. And now Michigan State has fought back to within 1. And significantly, Syracuse with 4 players in foul trouble, one of whom, Etan Thomas, the 3rd-team All-American, on the bench with his 4th. Griffin, rebound, Blackwell.
And you see how physical they are right now. So strong, cause problem, the shove on the shot, the loose ball, a little grappling. If it's not called real tightly, advantage Michigan State.
Etan Thomas will reappear when we come back after this timeout. 6:31 to go in regulation. Michigan State down by 10 at the half. Trailed by 14 early in this half. They have fought back and they're now down by 1. Etan Thomas playing with 4 fouls. Jim Boeheim says, go back in, be careful.
Strategic time going to break. Bernie Fine talking to him, who does a lot of work with the big guys over the years. He's generally consistent in staying on the floor. But if you bring him up to the foul line, as Michigan State did, now he has to react to cover low. That's when he gets in trouble.
Peterson with 18 leads Michigan State. They have a chance to go on top for the first time since they led 12-11 in the early going. It's Cleaves and Bell. Morris Peterson, the 3 from Flint, Michigan, not far up the highway. Bell, great Michigan State leads.
Get in the gap. That's what they're doing now. Get an overload one way, reverse it. One man's got to play 2.
The junior Flintstone gets the pass from the senior Flintstone. And it's a 2-point Spartan lead. Hart off the glass. Oh, got it! What a tough shot.
Oh, my goodness. On the run. So much traffic. A little kiss at the end. 2 terrific competitors at the point.
Mateen Cleaves of Michigan State, the senior. Jason Hart of Syracuse, the senior. Chappelle, 5:35 to go. Nice denial. Etan Thomas knocks it out of bounds, but touched it last.
They're starting to do some interesting things against that zone, but counter that with Jason Hart's ability to turn the corner, take a hit, and still linger enough. Oh, how affectionate. And they need some little dribble drives. They don't have the post presence right now. Got to create inside offense.
Now here's the comparison to the point guard you saw briefly. 58-58. 5:25 to go. Bell, pump fake. Little runner off the glass.
Not too bad. A little kiss. You want me to counter it? They're getting things on the offensive end now. Very creative. Good position and location, and they complement it with the bounce.
Blackwell comes out to set the screen for Jason Hart. Double-digit assists for Hart tonight. He's got 10. Tries to take Cleaves off the dribble and throws it away.
And he was expecting the distance with Brown, but once you leave your feet, even the good ones will make mistakes. And Jimmy B, a little bit concerned here. They get the baseline. They're expecting to stay in the far side, and they just lack the communication, but you can't leave your feet.
9 Syracuse turnovers. Nice pass, Peterson.
Oh, nylon!
They have come from 14 down in this half, and they lead by 5.
Now you're always tested. Now Syracuse has to turn it up a notch, establish inside somehow, either with the dribble or Thomas.
Blackwell thinks about the jumper. Granger's there.
Pretty good cushion defense by Granger. Played both.
Pick and roll. 7 on the shot clock. That's not the shot they wanted.
No, not at all. And what a check out. Hudson all over Thomas.
Griffin dives for it, but hit it last. It'll be Spartan ball.
Well, they do turn it up defensively. A presence. Each guy takes it personally.
Time has been called with 3:59 to go in regulation play. Spartans by 5. Michigan State up by 5 with 3:59 to go. The CBS Sportsline stat of the game. Michigan State in this half. How about that? 70% to 50% for Syracuse. Get complete NCAA tournament coverage at cbs.sportsline.com. Foul trouble. Check the list for Syracuse. Thomas plays with 4. Brown, Blackwell, and Jason Hart 3 apiece. Anagonier has 4, but that's not nearly as significant as the foul trouble that Tom Thomas is.
No, he's a big factor, and they just can't seem to get him the ball on the offensive end down low. But what's impressed me the most, Vern, second half turning it up a notch by Michigan State on the defensive end.
And Billy, they protected the ball as well. They've only had 2 turnovers in this half. They were letting it go and having it stolen in the first half of play. Now Cleves.
And they've had a nice mix of zone offense with man-to-man principles there. Screening, picking, driving, kick back out.
Charlie Bell just misses. Put back, Granger got it.
The cleanup guy. He is unsung, Vern. Does the dirty work. Oh.
A.J. Granger with 17 points now. And a 65-58 Michigan State lead.
And Hudson continues to dominate in the lane. Now, this could be a 3-second call. I don't think they'll call it, but they give it to Hudson or they give it double. They get the hold.
Hudson.
Drake. Well, the one thing they've kept Thomas moving around is the ability to get inside and do some damage. He's not going to be as aggressive because of the foul problems, but also it's the deployment that's been a problem.
Syracuse will be in the bonus next time they go to have a foul called. 3:14 to go. That's 16 fouls on Michigan State.
Now look at the cushion. Hudson helps out Granger's post defense. I mean, this team in their body. Look at the double now. They both stay. Cause the turnover. They're so alert, so team conscious.
Terrific help defense then.
Solid.
Under 3. Michigan State up by 7. Now they'll work the clock a little bit. Hudson got it.
Wow. Is that taking it at the big guy? They know the weak spot right now. He can't attack.
Blackwell with the pick for Jason Hart, but a good switch by Peterson. Now Blackwell off the glass, too strong. Saved underneath, reverse is no good. Here comes Peterson, Michigan State will run. Charlie Bell. Blocking foul, called on Syracuse.
The numbers were to their advantage. Right now, things not going for Syracuse, but the ability to read. Look at all the action here. The frustration level. That's a kick-out pass by Tom Thomas. You don't have anything. And the other end, they just take advantage. They understand the numbers. Little kiss finish as they establish Hudson on the low box, and that's just terrific understanding of what to do. And Lupe got to be happy, huh? Oh, the smile. Well, her hubby, I'm sure, wasn't as charming at halftime as he is at a dinner date.
Bell gets 2. 2:18 to go. A 16-2 Michigan State run. and their largest lead of the game. Griffin in the lane. Off the front, here comes Bell with Cleaves to his right. Pretty. Cleaves got it.
That's usually not the call, Bell to Cleaves, but that's how solid Bell is. Charlie understands playing that point early in the year.
Time called, Syracuse.
Well, Vern, you mentioned turnovers not in their favor. They weren't able to get the runouts, but now with aggressive defense, things have started to happen. Exploitation, the numbers game, getting out, and the two-point guard mentality effective. And how about the strut? Forward or backward, it's his town, my kind of town.
He came back because he said he wanted to cut down the nets in the final game of the season. It appears his team will be one step closer to that opportunity. Thomas taken away by Charlie Bell.
How about that double down, too? Disarmed in the low box, Hudson, and the assistance by others. That time, Charlie Bell.
Syracuse led by 14 with 18:50 to go. Foul on Shumpert.
Jimmy Boeheim not sitting back, on for a little half-court trap, see if he can be disruptive. A quick explosion, you were right. Their ability to light it up on one end and then counter. And Vern, it's hard to be comfortable with his own if you haven't seen it all year. The first half may be saying, hey guys, we're getting to the spot. Be confident now, stroke it, make the extra pass, pry a little bit more.
18 points for A.J. Granger. And he shoots one more. Well, Jim Boeheim's team started that, had that 19-0 start to the season, lost at home to Seton Hall, kind of limped into the playoff with a 5-5 mark in their last 10 games. Defeated Samford and then defeated Kentucky in a tough game last week in Cleveland. Led here by 14. It appears that the season will end for the Syracuse Orangemen.
Nice post up by Hudson. And they just have been steady. And all the second half has just been great preparation. Execution. Hart gives you a little bit of a grab there. Tough when reality starts to set in.
Jason Hart reminiscing yesterday, remembering his recruiting trip to Syracuse. He came east in November of his senior year. He had never seen snow. It was snowing that night. Bernie Fine, the assistant, picked him up at the airport, took him immediately to the Carrier Dome, and said, this is where we play.
And that's your bench.
And Jason Hart said, this is where I want to play. And he leads as the all-time steal leader in Syracuse history. Bell gets the free throw. 75-58. But it will end here at the Palace of Auburn Hills for Tom Thomas, Ryan Blackwell, and Jason Hart.
And the Cuse couldn't have played a better first half. I mean, to get back in it, and all of a sudden the aggressive, defensive-minded Spartans took it to them.
This one's in the books. Spartans found the keys to the Palace. Tom Thomas. Ryan Blackwell.
A little style here, let's see. And Tom Izzo saying don't. Well, I love this play. I love this style. And McLean and Izzo sharing the moment.